My name is Leo, and I was 10 years old the first time my parents left me alone overnight. It was 1997. Dad had a sudden conference in Chicago, and Mom went with him. Mrs. Gable from next door was supposed to check in, but she had the flu. They decided I was mature enough, with a list of numbers and strict instructions to deadbolt the door. The excitement of freedom was a physical buzz in my chest. The first few hours were a kid's paradise. Pizza rolls, unlimited TV, no bedtime. Our house was a long ranch-style place at the end of a cul-de-sac, surrounded by woods on 3 sides. As the shadows stretched, the familiar rooms seemed to deepen, creating pockets of darkness in corners that were normally bright. I turned on every light in the living room and kitchen, creating a bright island in the middle of the house. Around 9, I settled on the couch to watch a movie. That's when the television began to act strangely. Not turning off, but the signal would degrade for maybe 5 seconds. The screen filling with whispering static, the sound cutting to a hollow rush, before snapping back to perfect clarity. It happened 3 times during the film. I blamed our old cable box. After the movie ended at 11, I got up to get a drink. The hallway to the bedrooms was dark. I flicked the switch. Nothing. The overhead light in the hall was out. I remember feeling a cold spear of fear. I used the light from the living room to navigate to my bedroom, turned on my lamp, and felt better. I decided to just brush my teeth and go to bed. My bathroom was across the hall. I did my business quickly, the broken hallway light making the space feel cavernous. As I hurried back to my room, I glanced down the dark hall towards my parents' bedroom at the far end. Their door was open, as always, and in the rectangle of deeper darkness within, I saw the soft, grey, static glow of a television screen. My blood went quiet. They weren't home. Their TV wasn't on a timer. I stood frozen, listening. Above the hum of the house, I could just make it out. The faint shushing sound of an untuned channel. I did the only logical thing a scared kid could do. I retreated into my room, locked the door, and hid under the covers with my baseball bat. I told myself I'd imagined it. The mind plays tricks. Sleep came in fits. I woke up at 2:17 a.m., according to my digital clock. The house was silent. Too silent. The usual creaks and sighs of the settling foundation were absent. It was a vacuum. And then, from the hallway, right outside my door, came a new sound. A soft, wet click. Then another. Click, click, click. It was the sound of the old rotary phone in the kitchen being dialed. But it was slow, deliberate, as if someone was carefully pushing a single finger around the dial, 1 number at a time. It dialed 3 clicks, a pause, 3 more clicks, a long pause, 7 more clicks, 3, 3, 7. My heart hammered against my ribs. No one was in the kitchen. I knew it with a cold certainty. The sound was coming from the empty hallway. The clicking stopped. A moment of utter silence followed, so profound I could hear the tinnitus ring in my own ears. Then, from the same spot in the hallway, the television static returned. Not from the living room, not from my parents' room. From right outside my door. That hollow, rushing whisper, like a dead channel amplified. It wasn't broadcast from a speaker. It was just there, occupying the space. It lasted for what felt like minutes, ebbing and flowing in volume. I squeezed my eyes shut, my fingers white on the bat handle. When I opened them again, the static was gone. The normal night sounds of the house, a faint refrigerator hum, the creak of a pipe, crept back in. I didn't move until the grey light of dawn stained my curtains. My parents returned the next afternoon. I told them about the broken hall light. Dad replaced the bulb. It worked perfectly. I didn't mention the TV or the dialing. What was there to say? It happened twice more before I turned 16. Once when I was 12, home with the flu. Again when I was 14, my parents at a weekend wedding. The pattern was always the same. The hallway light would be out. I'd see the static glow from my parents' room. I'd hear the slow clicking dial, 337. I looked it up once. On a rotary phone, 337 corresponds to the letters DEP. It doesn't mean anything to me. I never saw anything. I just heard it and saw that gray light. I'm an adult now. I own a different house. Last week, I came home late from a business trip. My wife and son were at her mother's for the night. I was exhausted. I walked down the hall to my bedroom, flipped the switch. The light was out. The bulb had blown. And from the guest room at the end of the hall, from behind the closed door, I saw the soft, familiar, gray flicker of static, painting a thin line of light on the floor. I stood there, listening. The house was very quiet. I didn't go to check. I just turned around, walked back to my car, and drove to a hotel. I told my wife the flight had been delayed. I haven't been alone in that house since.